Oh, hey. All right. So we're doing a beer spotlight here. Um, this is going to be just a kind of a short segment to dig into, go a little deep on one beer. And as you can see, that beer this month is Sprecher's ReFresh Button. So there's just some context about this beer before we kind of dig into it. Um, Sprecher is the oldest of the kind of new craft breweries in the state. It was founded in 1985 by Randy Sprecher in Milwaukee. Now located in Glendale, which is just a northern suburb just north of Milwaukee. And it is no longer owned by Randy Sprecher because earlier this year, I believe the sale closed February 1st. He sold the brewery and retired. Um, the new ownership group is a local investment group with a bunch of different people, including Jim Cantor, who's a former, he was a officer of some type, I think chief operating officer or something like that, at Miller Coors in Milwaukee, and Sharad Chadha, who's got some extensive kind of business executive management type stuff in the Milwaukee area, but not anything in the brewing industry. Um, so it's a big move, and Sprecher is a brewery that has kind of been kind of showing its age a little bit. I think that their new products had been pretty not great, and there hadn't been a lot of them. And their classic products the classic beers have been really good, and but you can only live on Black Bavarian and Special Amber for so long before you need something else to, especially these days when everything new is what's kind of driving the sales and success of a brewery. So it was really time for some changes at Sprecher. And one thing to keep in mind with Sprecher is the diversity of this company. It is in hard soda, or at least at the time of the sale, it had been obviously it was in beer, it was in cider, it was in hard sodas, it was in seltzers, and it was, of course, very famously in soft drinks. Their regular sodas, the root beer, sold all over the country. Really, that was the thing that was kind of keeping the business going. At least it looked like from the outside. So you know, when a new ownership group comes in and they don't have any obvious ties to the company, um, like a guy with the last name, running everything, um, there's going to be some changes. And seltzer could have been a direction that they went, and they are going in that direction. Um, you know, going all in on sodas, dropping beer. I mean, all these things were potentially, in the mix, but their first new product since the sale is ReFresh Button. So, I talked to Sharad Chadha, who's the CEO now, about this, and he said that he acknowledged that the company had kind of gotten a little stale. He said that they are looking to contemporize the brand, and he said it had kind of it had kind of become a has-been, which is, I mean, they bought a has-been. That's obviously they're going to make changes. So this is the first first new product generally. And it's they're calling it a juicy IPA. It's just 5% ABV, so it's not technically an IPA. Drinks like one, but technically I think you'd probably could put this in the juicy pale ale category a little bit more realistically. It's made with Mosaic and Centennial hops and the blend of the Zythos hop. And the aroma, it's a kind of an apricot. I get a lot of apricot. It's heavily fruity. Just a little bit of little touch of pine resin. As you probably would get from Centennial there. And that I think the apricot's kind of the dominant character on the nose. Flavor kind of follows. I think, just kind of get the one thing out of the way. Not a lot of malt action going on here. Pretty neutral there. Pretty. Uh, it just doesn't stand out. The hops are really doing the work and the flavor here. I get kind of peach, pineapple, a little bit of tangerine, and I have a personal thing with Mosaic where a lot of the beers that are described as juicy, I get a ton of dankness out of them, and I think that it's probably Mosaic. And it might be just a personal thing for me. I don't know. Do you guys ever get really kind of dank, catty, weed, marijuana like notes out of your Mosaic beers?